Shalom, shalom. Kal halalim labana Yahweh Eloheinu b'Hashem Yahweh Shai b'Hashem Racha HaKodash. You know, when you see certain camps that follow the wave of the norm, the people of this world, right? Number one, the way I see it from my spiritual lenses, and I'm nobody in this world, but this is me, right? Saying this, okay? They're part of this world, you know, because the Lord Yahweh Shai said to be in this world but not of the world. And these guys, this specific camp, all right, you know, that are part of, ISUPK, you know, they're of the world and they're following the trend of a lot of comedians, right, that have been paid off by the powers that be to demonize this truth, to make it a black and white thing, okay? Black is a byword, white is a byword, okay? The Edomites are red, the Israelites are brown, and also, one more fact, the Israelites look like other nations. Okay, are you guys going to call Isaiah Hartenstein? Isaiah Hartenstein an Edomite when his father is a so-called black man? You guys are going to call Blake Griffin's son an Edomite when his grandfather is a so-called black man and Drake is a so-called black man? Are you going to call are you going to call Blake Griffin's son an Edomite when Blake Griffin himself is a light-skinned so-called black man and his father's a Levite, a so-called Haitian? You're going to say the same thing to Drake? Let's say Drake's son has blonde hair, curly hair, bright blue eyes, a cute little young lad. Now, if he had a daughter that looked the same way, you're going to call her an Edomite. What you guys are doing is basically, your guys are paid off, right, for filthy lucre's sake, and you are joining the trend of these other paid off Israelites out there because this is your consolation. This world is your consolation because you're making it in this world, you know, having businesses and stuff like that, being very successful, you know. Because I even saw an interview of Tazar Yak many years ago. A while back. I don't know. Sarnetta was interviewing him, and he said that he doesn't have many problems, right? I mean, that's fine, you know. There's nothing wrong with that. But then, therefore, if life is hunky dory for you, and you have you've got no waves hitting your ship of life, you know, and everything's, you're sailing smoothly, right? Then maybe, you know, this world is your consolation. Everything working out for you, having multiple wives, everything being in order, because the Lord Yahweh Shai said, "This world is not our rest." And here you are, right, making mockery of the truth that you said that you are a part of. You're also teaching the fact that the mark of the beast, MO to the T to the B, Revelation 13:16, is not, the MO to the T to the B, mark of the beast, the RFID, CHIP, right, is not Revelation 13:16. You're saying that the RFID chip is not the mark of the beast, which it is, all right? So therefore, you're paid off too, okay? You're probably assuming that, okay, you're in the front lines, you're teaching, okay, you're an Israelite, okay, you're following the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. But then again, you keep saying Christ, Jesus, Jeebus all the time. All right? And now you're making mockery of the truth. All right? You're making mockery of it. You're joining the trend of demonizing the Israelites, trying to make it a black and white thing. All right? You know? Vocab has come to a lot of the camps, but, you know, the men of Great Millstone, and double honors to the apostles and bishops on down. You know, shalom to the prophets of the same body. They always emphasize the fact this is not a black and white thing because we have been scattered to the four corners of the earth. Yes, the majority of pale-looking people are Edomites. They're so-called white people, Caucasians. And yes, if you look like an Ishmaelite Arab, you will be an Arab. Okay? If you look like an East Indian, you will be an Elamite. If you look like a so-called Chinese person, you'll be a Moabite. But amongst these other nations, okay, and there's many more, there's 17 other nations outside the nation of Israel, which is to rule in this next kingdom coming, right? Those 17 nations, there's Israelites amongst them. Why? Because we were scattered to the four corners of the earth. And just like the Israelite man, the so-called black man, the so-called Hispanic man, the so-called Native Indian man. Let's just talk about the so-called black man to start off with, because he's the most visible, right? Listen, I'm in my 40s, all right? I've been seeing Jake deal with white girls, Edomite women, and they could be Israelite foreigners now. They could be Irish, they could be Scottish, they could be German, they could be Israelite women that look like white women. Okay, all right, or they just could be straight up Edomite women. All right, and I've seen Jake with women of other nations, Indian girls, East Indian girls, and some of them could be Israelites. You know, some of them look like Latinas. You can't really tell, especially in the States. But in the UK, if you're pretty much brown, they're going to assume that you're South Asian or East Indian or Pakistani or whatever, right? But there's Jake amongst them, all right? Because I'm one of them. I'm an Israelite my family come from the northwest of India, right? But my family don't have that stereotypical East Indian look. We more look more say, I would say, like when I was in the States, everybody assumed this thought I was Spanish, right? That's just I don't know. It's just, it's just this. I guess the tribes look alike, even though we're scattered to the four corners of the earth, but we also look different as well. And then they use this this Jake comedian, right? What's his name? Moneybag. They always have the dumbest names. Moneybag, get the bag. Moneybag, get the bag. Because that's their be all and the end of, and that's their that's their main goal, the MO in this world, is to get the bag. All right, you know what? A lot of you are gonna have them bags full of cash hidden underneath your floorboards and in your cupboards, in your stash sort of areas in your house when the financial system crashes. Yeah, just like in the movie I Am Legend, when Will Smith runs into the place and runs into a bank with his dog, where his dog runs in, and there's stacks of cash there. And what are you going to do with it? You're going to wipe your backside with it. That's what you're going to do with it. You can set it on fire to get it warm. And a lot of you are going to suffer, man. And the fact that certain camps are joining in, they're not really pushing the name of Yahweh Hashem Yashai. They keep saying Black Jebus and God. There's nothing saying Most High, because Most High is a title. There's nothing wrong with that. But they don't emphasize the name, because it's the name that's really key. That's the password to give you power, man, if you really believe in it. But a lot of these other camps have sold out, and they're following the trend of demonizing this truth the same way Mike Epps did in 2010, and his partner that did that thing with Mike Epps. I don't know his name. I don't want to deviate from this because I'll lose my train of thought. Okay, you guys know when Mike Epps did that skit with another Jake in 2010, and they're making fun reading the scriptures, and he was wearing the head wrap, and I think he was wearing a head wrap. He's basically wearing the garments, right? Mike Epps did it, started the trend, and that was probably a ritual he had to do to get on in this world, as well as amongst other rituals that he talks about, right? And then you got another low-level comedian making fun of the truth, and we've seen it. We've seen it trend, and now you've got ISUPK joining in as well. I won't be surprised if every other camp that does this, and any other camp that does this, right? They have taken the bag. They have sold out. Simple as that. All right. There's probably sincere members amongst them. All right, but for the most part, they've sold out. Titus 1:11, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not, for filthy lucre's sake. Now, what are these guys teaching? Okay, they just looked at, let's just say, and a lot of other camps do this as well. They see a man with a so-called white woman. They don't know who she is. They go by face value. All right. HOI do this as well. Oh, you get away from her, man. Get out, all that BS. There's nothing wrong with an Israelite man having a so-called white woman, an Indian woman, a Chinese woman, an Arab woman, Japanese woman, any woman he wants, provided she's single, right? And she's loyal to you. And then on top of that, as long as you don't follow her bullshit doctrine, all right? King Solomon had 1,000 women, 700 wives, and 300 concubines. Where King Solomon went off was for the simple fact that he started following his concubines' heathen ways, such as building temples to the gods that they pray to and all that kind of thing. That's where he went off. You can have heathen women. You can have heathen women. There's nothing wrong with having heathen women. Yeah. The 12 tribes, never came out of the womb of Israelite women. They came out of the loins of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? But the women, to begin with, in the beginning, weren't Israelite women. They were just women. You know? And this, filthy lucre is basically, let me go to NIV. Filthy lucre would be, where is it? Titus 1 and 11. Salaki, I'm just going to play the video in a second. I just wanted to sort of get this out, Titus 1:11. They must be silenced because they are disrupting whole households by teaching things they ought not to teach, and that for the sake of dishonest gain. And these guys are getting dishonest gain. Okay? You think they don't get paid off for doing things like this? Oh, man, make a skit and what's this guy's name? Moneybag. Moneybag wants to do a skit with you. He's willing to pay you, I don't know, $20,000 up front. $10,000 before the skit and $10,000 after. Because they know, because Moneybag wants to join the trend, because a lot of his counterparts, comedians, lower level comedians, your online comedians, they're gonna join in, and you're gonna see other comedians join in as well. All right, and any other camps that join in, such as RUIC and not ISU. This is ISUBK, by the way. Join in, all right, and any of the camps like these guys join in. They've taken the bag. Like I said again, there's sincere members amongst every camp. All right, the elect are amongst every camp, but there's also a lot of the non-elect as well that are amongst every camp. All right, okay, let's just play this.
That's what we're doing out here, man. Bringing the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, man. Look at this goddamn clown, man. What you call yourself doing out here, man?
And now, if this was even though this happens in reality, and Jake, there's nothing wrong with Jake having a woman of another nation. Now, how do you know that what she is? Does she know what her great great grandfather looked like and who he was? The look of a child can change in one generation. It can happen instantly, where a so-called black man or a Northern Kingdom Jake, a Hispanic Jake, or Native Indian Jake can have a child with a white woman or an Edomite woman or East Indian woman or a Chinese woman or whatever, and the child can look exactly like the mother, right? Look at China Mac, for example. He's an Israelite. You can't tell through the spirit. And the Lord did say he's going to make Judah covert amongst the Moabites, right? The so-called Chinese. Bruce Lee's an Israelite. Okay, that kind of steez is not going to be amongst the heathen. All right? All right? It can happen in one generation. Your look can change. In one generation. All right? You have several children. Some of them come out tan looking. Some of them come out a little bit of curly hair. Some of them maybe come out looking like Drake. Then they go on to marry other Edomites or other so-called pale-looking people or different nations, and then the children come out completely looking different a generation or two down the line. And then those children assume, especially in a place like America, right, would say, okay, I'm Caucasian, I'm this, that, and the third. For example, the Italians were recently called white in the 50s and 60s, I believe. I was reading an article the other day. They weren't called so-called white initially because they were so dark looking. And there's mainly a bulk of the southern Italians that came, and who are mainly, a lot of them are Israelites, because I got that tan complexion, and some of them can pass for so-called Latino. And when I look at this girl, in reality, even though this is a skit, she doesn't look very Edomitish, but she could be. But it doesn't matter what a woman is, because the man carries a royal seed. You are whatever your child is, pursuant to Numbers 1:18. Okay? Pursuant to Numbers 1:18, you are whatever your father is. Hence the reason why the woman takes on the man's surname. So what they're doing, as pursuant to Titus 1:11, they're doing this for filthy lucre's sake, filthy gain, dishonest gain. And then on top of that, they're disrupting whole households. Okay? There could be a Jake man married to an Edomite woman for 25 years. He's got 7 beautiful children. All right? He's coming into the truth. He's letting his wife know, okay, this is what you are. If you're not if you're not spiritually connecting with this is more than likely you're an Edomite, And he's basically like causing contention between man and woman, an Israelite man and his woman, especially those that are not in the truth. They're learning, and they can say, okay, like Jake wakes up and say, okay, I'm a Jake. My children are Jakes. My wife is an Edomite, or she's an Elamite, or she's a Moabite, or whatever. I gotta let her know this truth, or you might let her know, or might not. But someone who's a little bit knowledgeable, learning from the men of the Lord, the men of Great Millstone, and the affiliate camps, they're going to be all right in the spirit power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. But the newbies, or the people that don't know, right? This is going to cause contention in the household. And then on top of that, this is going to add to the race war. Because obviously Jacob's trouble is around the corner. So this is just another addition for the so-called white man, all right, and the heathen nations to come at the men of the Lord who are teaching on the street corners. They're just going to call them so-called racists. This is all it is. And this is all done by design, all right? And the fact that these guys are in it, but they don't show Captain Tazayak's face, but I can tell that's him when he grabs up the Jake. You can tell that's his build, and he's wearing they're just making mockery of it, making mockery of it. You would never see a Muslim group, right, who are always serious, even though Islam is bullshit. You will never see them make a skit about their religion. As Eddie Griffin would say, a Muslim would blow himself up for a Muhammad, That's how serious they take this shit, even though it's a lot of bullshit, But this is like the Christian church. They make mockery of it. They have, sodomites in their church dancing around. They make movies about sodomites in churches. A lot of Jake movies are centered around that, Any camp that doesn't push the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, as far as I'm concerned, has sold out. All right? Any camp that's got 501c3 charters, as far as I'm concerned, they've sold out. Any camp that does skits like this with mainstream comedians or online comedians has sold out. All right, there's elect members amongst them, but for the most part, this camp has sold out. All right, let's watch it from the start. Damn it. If you're going to make a video like this, why don't you make it with when you see a so-called black or brown woman, an Israelite woman with a cracker? You're not going to do that, though, are you? Like Umar Johnson, that weirdo. Keeps going on about the so-called black man having women of other nations, but, never talks about the so-called ninja woman, so-called black woman, right? About, dealing with other men of other nations. This is all done by design, man.
That's what we're doing out here, man. Bringing the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, man. Look at this goddamn clown, man. What you call yourself doing out here, man?
Oh, shit. Nothing. Me and my wife.
Wife? Most High's gonna kill your ass.
Oh, man. Got a little bun in the oven. Big man blessed us.
What's your nationality, Miss Lady? You white?
Okay, he said there's a big man, there's a bun in the oven. Okay, even though it's a skit, that bun in the oven is an Israelite baby. Okay? And then on top of that, you're walking by with your woman, and that's not the Israelite way. You're not supposed to just, get at the brother like that. If this was reality, you with that white woman, this, that, and the third. You're supposed to engage them, as the scriptures say. You're supposed to be peaceable with all men. You know what I mean? You're supposed to do this in a humble, humane, but austere way, where you can dissect the situation if you are going to teach the truth, to find out what the lady is. And even if she is an Edomite, it doesn't matter. You understand? The Most High is not going to kill a Jake for dealing with a heathen woman. That's some bullshit. All right? Now, if you're in the truth and you follow her doctrine, let's just say she's into reading horoscopes, or she's into, I don't know, let's just say your woman is a so-called Christian. All right, let's just say she's an East Indian woman. She's a Hindu. She goes to a temple and all that. All right, she does all that shit. All right, but you try and say to her, listen, babe, don't do that no more. You know what I mean? You're with me now. And if she still persists and all that, okay, cool. You the Lord understands. You're still in the truth. You're dealing with her. She's your concubine. She's your wife or whatever. You deal with her, but you do not go to the temple with her. You don't follow her doctrine. You don't follow her ways. You don't let her pray that nonsense inside your household, especially where you pay the bills. Okay. Now, if you've got a woman or Edomite woman or a woman of another nation that's a so-called Christian, you don't follow the Christmas stuff or the whatever, going to the church and all that shit. You don't do none of that. That's where you go off. But just having a woman of another nation is not going off. Okay?
What
you call yourself doing out here, man?
Oh, shit. Nothing. Me and my wife.
What? Oh, Most High's gonna kill your ass. Oh, man.
Got a little bun in the oven. Big man blessed us.
What's your nationality, Miss Lady? You white? Lost ass niggas, man. Lost ass, goddamn. Give me Deuteronomy, man. Give me Deuteronomy 7 chapter, man. 7 and 3, man. Read on.
Do not intermarry. Do not give your sons to their daughters, or your daughters to their sons.
That's right. Shut your goddamn mouth,
That's
man.
right.
Read this goddamn, read it again,
That's
man.
right.
Read it again for this goddamn
Right.
man.
That's
Read
Desire,
it again.
okay?
Deuteronomy 7 and 3, man.
Do not
7 and 3, man.
intermarry.
Most High's
Do
gonna
not
kill
give
your
your
ass.
sons
With
to
this
their
goddamn
daughters,
peckerwood,
or
man.
your
You
daughters
understand?
to their sons.
We gotta do better. That's what we're doing now.
All right, and they very see how structured they are with the camera, you know. What they're trying to do, they're trying to emphasize on the One West. They're trying to emphasize on who they are. Okay, it may be a skit to some people, but what they're doing is, you know, they're showing the same mockery, the same same way they're mocking the truth, which other comedians are doing by saying that's right, you know, and the way they're reading the scriptures. You know, it's the same way other comedians are doing it also. All right. 1 second. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 27 and 28. Mockery and reproach are from the proud, but vengeance as a lion shall lie in wait for them. And vengeance as a lion, you know, is going to lie, you know, in wait for, you know, some of you jakes that are sold out. They make a mockery of this, and you know for a fact you can have women of other nations. All right, you know you can. Okay. Aren't the babies still Israelites? Or are you going to be like Fopi, saying that you're going to be a black man and a black woman? You know? George Washington had a so-called Israelite or a black woman concubine. Okay? His son came out completely jet black, like Wesley Snipes. Is he an Israelite? Because he's so dark. You can Google that if you want. It's worth a Google, as they say. Coming out with that bullshit, man. You guys are sold out, man. Let's go into that scripture that's saying, shall not give your sons. Okay. See, with the scriptures, there's various periods. Okay, there's a historical map with the scriptures. Okay, all right, because the scriptures start in the ancient world and they go all the way to right now, where we're in right now. Okay, so over a period of time, when we were with the prior to Yahweh Shai, we were, you know, kept to the law, the letter of the law, man. You made one sudden movement that was wrong. So let's just say you picked up a stick on the Shabbat. Man, the Lord, the Yahweh, the Lord, the Most High would just delete you, kill you, man. All right. Then the Lord, and you know, we kept making mistakes, obviously, in the sins that we committed. And the Lord Yahweh Shai, all right. I'm saying in a short snapshot that His Majesty Yahweh Shai was, you know, our sacrificial lamb for all the sins that we committed. All right. Then the Lord gave us Yahweh Shai gave us what's the word? Mercy, as well as you know, time to sort of get ourselves together, you know? Oh, I forgot that word. What's that word? You have time. Grace, yeah, that's a grace period. Yeah, grace period. The Lord has given you that grace period. Okay? All right? So that's how it started. So obviously during that time when neither shall thou make marriages with them, thy daughter shall not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Why? Obviously, if we give our daughters to them, they're bringing forth, our daughters will be bringing forth heathens. Okay? number one, and then our daughters would follow. Giving our daughters to them, that's off. Period. All right, because number one, they'll be bringing forth heathens because they're taking the seed of the heathen man, and then on top of that, they'll be following the heathenistic doctrine. Now, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. All right. Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Okay? Why? What did the Lord say in Deuteronomy 7 verse 4? For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. All right? The Lord Yahweh Shemeshai never said, okay, I don't want the Israelite man dealing with heathen women because they're too pale, their eyes are too slanted. The Lord emphasizing the fact. Let's do it with Deuteronomy 7 verse 3. They only read one verse. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shall not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Now verse 4 is emphasized where it says, it's focused on the son because the man comes first and the man carries the seed. For they, Deuteronomy 7 verse 4, for they will turn away thy son from following me, the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai, that they may serve other gods. Okay, that's the same thing King Solomon did. So will the anger of the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. All right. Verse 5, Deuteronomy 7 verse 5. But thus shall ye deal with them, ye shall destroy their altars. But thus shall ye deal with them. All right, the Lord's saying, okay, if you deal with them, but thus shall ye deal with them, ye shall destroy their altars, break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art an holy people, verse 6, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power, the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai. The Lord Yahweh Shemeshai thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay? The only reason the Lord said, number one, you can't give our daughters to the heathen anyway. We don't want them. Number one, that's off because our daughters will be following the heathenistic customs, but worse yet, actually following heathenistic customs as well as bringing forth heathen seed and heathen children. All right, so that's completely off. All right, that's completely off. But our sons dealing with them, right? That was forbidden. Why? Because the Lord Yahweh Shemeshai wanted you to be with a woman of the same nation so you can stay in the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemeshai. That's the reason. But the Lord said, break down their images and their altars and their groves and all that kind of thing, burn it down. But, if you are going to deal with a heathen woman, you don't follow the doctrine. The Most High allowed King Solomon. Wasn't King Solomon the wisest king? All right. The Lord allowed King Solomon having heathen women. But where did he go off? By following his heathen wives' ways. Because Jake likes to please the woman, innit? You saw in the 80s and 90s, baby, baby, please, please, all that begging music, man, like Keith Sweat. I'll drink your bathwater and all that kind of shit. I lay my life down for you and, you are everything and, let me take you out tonight. I'll massage your feet when you come from work. I'll cook for you. What was that song by Babyface? Jake likes to please a woman in his simplicity, But King Solomon, I'm not saying King Solomon is simple, but in terms of the fact that he was following, that Jake thing still goes on where we like to please a woman. And some Jakes I've seen, right, like to marry. For example, there was a Jake on my road, a Benjamite. He married a beautiful, I'm talking really beautiful Somalian girl. And why? To marry her, he became a Muslim. Why? Because number one, he said he liked the doctrine of Islam and he liked the unity amongst what Muslims have. And obviously, he was in love with the coochie, innit? That was the main thing. He wanted that wet. But you can have women of other nations, but you need to be strong. You have to have the blessing of Yahweh Shemeshai with you to stay stern in the truth and not to follow your wife's doctrine or your concubine's doctrine. That's the only thing. You can have women of other nations. What these guys are just doing is just reading one verse and just taking it into, they're showing, violence in a comedic fashion. And see where the camera's focusing. It's One West. And who comes out of One West? All the truth came out of One West. From Abba Bivens. Is it Abba Bivens? Salak if I get it wrong. Well, from Abba Bivens, from Abba Bivens on down, all the way to High Priest Arya, High Priest Yaikwab, and King Marsha, and then you got our elders, man. They're all our elders, but what I'm trying to say, and then our recent elders, which is the apostles and bishops, So they all come out of one West. So they're trying to demonize the truth. Because if you look at the camera work, I'll play it again one more time. Yeah.
Out here, man, bringing the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High.
1 second. Look how they start.
That's what we're doing now.
They don't show the faces. All right. They're very careful not to show the faces of these men. All right. But we know, because we know who they are. We can tell. We can tell how they're talking. They're trying to do everything in a comedic fashion. They're showing the one West.
Out here, man, bringing the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, man. Look at this goddamn clown, man. What you call yourself doing out here, man?
Nothing. Being a white.
White? Most High's gonna kill your ass.
Oh, man.
man.
A little bun in the oven. Big man blessed us.
What's your nationality, Miss Lady? You white? Lost ass niggas, man. Lost ass. Goddamn. Give me Deuteronomy. Give me Deuteronomy 7 chapter, man. 73, man. Read on.
Do not intermarry. Do not give your sons to their daughters, or your daughters to their sons.
That's right. Shut your goddamn mouth,
That's
man.
right.
Read this goddamn. Read it again,
That's
man.
right.
Read it again for this goddamn
Right.
clown, man.
Chapter
Read it
7,
again. Deuteronomy
verse
73.
Do not
73.
intermarry.
The Most High is
Do
gonna
not
kill
give
your
your
ass.
sons
With
to
this
their
goddamn.
daughters.
You see the stupidity there, man. These guys have been paid off, man. Everything's a joke until it's not a joke anymore. One second. I've got the King James Version here. 1 second. Just trying to find one more scripture. I just want to read it in the NIV. Okay. And I'm going to leave it there now. All praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash, Mawatha Badbabal, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom. And, they're just adding to the trend, and it's a sign of the times, and you're going to see other comedians do this as well. And as far as I remember, it was Mike Epps. That's probably one of the first ones that I remember, because I saw a skit that goes back to 2009, 2010, and ever since then, there's a whole lot of other people that make fun of the Hebrew Israelites, make it into a joke, but mockery and reproach, vengeance will be waiting for you, you sellouts, selling out for filthy lucre's sake, selling out for those crumbs, getting your consolations in this world. All right, carry on, keep it up. Because remember one thing, these skits, they're going to hit the mainstream. People that don't even know about the Hebrew Israelites. And it's going to make other Israelites, or so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, even Israelite foreigners, think, what is this? Let me look into it. And they're going to bump into, they're going to spiritually, the Lord's going to, like a pinball, going from one motion, banging around the table, banging around the, going from this, like a pinball, going from this place to that place to that place with buffers. The Lord Yahweh Hashem is going to guide those people, especially the Israelites, to the truth, to one of the camps. All right, hopefully Great Millstone, and then they're going to wake up. So you can't do anything for the truth. So you can't do anything. Let me do that scripture. Read that last scripture. 2 Corinthians 13:8. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Okay? 2 Corinthians 13:8. For we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Vocab tried it. Because of his popularity and his channel, he's woken up a lot of other Israelites, because the other so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, other Israelite foreigners, whatever, right? Thought, what is this Israelite thing? And then they delve deeper into it, and they find out that they're actually Israelites, and now they woke up to the truth. Barak Yahweh Hashem Yeshai. You can't, man. But your arms are too short to box with God, man. So this is just gonna put another a bigger spotlight onto the truth and wake other Jakes up and condemn you 2/3 Jakes that are doing these skits. Okay? And yeah. You know? So there's no difference in you and people like Vocab and these other clowns that have sold out. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Mashai Bashem Makakodash Shalom.